On the first day of our marriage, my wife told me, if one day you discover I've cheated on you, do not forgive me. The me at that time will certainly not be the me who loves you now. If I hurt you, then punish me. So later, when she cheated with her male assistant, she strictly forbade the assistant from causing a scene in front of me. She told her friends, I definitely won't divorce Lin Che, or else why would I cheat? Unfortunately, the male assistant wasn't so sensible. Yesterday, he sent me a photo, and today he sent a video fully documenting their lovey-dovey moments. He said I was getting old and couldn't give Sister Ching the passion she wanted, and that I should quickly step aside and let him take my place. I put away my phone, calmly thinking, then I hope my wife can withstand the passionate punishment I'm going to give her. I returned home in a daze, and a strange message I had received not long ago lay in my phone. Lin Che, want to know what your wife is doing upstairs? After 10 years of being in love and 7 years of marriage, I never imagined that Song Ching would betray our relationship. A televised interview with Song Ching was playing on the TV. The reporter asked, who has been the biggest help to your career? Song Ching answered without hesitation, it's my husband. We started from scratch together. I manage the business, and he's responsible for research and development, and that's how we built the company we have today. I've decided on him for life. He is my soulmate. Looking at Song Ching's smiling face on the screen, I felt somewhat dazed. On my phone, Song Ching's sincere declaration of love for me in the interview had gone viral, with netizens envying our strong partnership and fairy tale romance. Some even dug up old photos of us when we were starting the business. A young me stood with my arms around her in our small office, our faces full of hope. I couldn't help but feel a little moved. Song Ching and I met in university. We hit it off immediately and quickly fell in love. Upon graduation, Song Ching gave up lucrative job opportunities, willingly staying by my side to start a business from scratch. We were very poor and could only live in a semi-basement rental. In the winter, there was no heating, and the two of us would huddle under the covers, shivering while dreaming about buying a big house in the future. Now all our dreams have come true, but Song Ching has changed. Song Ching returned late at night. After she finished showering and came out, I turned over and stared at her, startling her. Che, why aren't you asleep yet? Aren't you afraid of the dark? Why didn't you let me come up today? I asked. The panic on her face flashed by in an instant, and then she laughed. My secretary brought an emergency flashlight and I thought you were busy. After a brief silence, she suddenly remembered something, ran to the living room, and brought me a delicate box. Inside was a watch, obviously very expensive. I just bought this for you, see if you like it. After being married for many years, I know her well. Every time she makes a mistake, she buys me something to try to make me happy. I tacitly took it, put it aside, and said I was tired. The night passed. When I got up in the morning, Song Ching was making breakfast. After our marriage, as long as Song Ching was free, she would always make breakfast at home. I had a bad stomach, so Song Ching had specially sought out the chefs of five-star hotels to learn to cook, and she had also crammed a lot of nutritional knowledge. All just to take care of my stomach. I felt bad for her and told her not to wear herself out, that we could get a nanny instead. But she said, it's not the same, it's always more reassuring when I make it myself. I was a bit dazed. She called me over to sit down, and then changed into her workout clothes to go for her morning exercise. I glanced at the insulated container she was holding and asked, why are you taking an insulated container for your morning exercise? She paused, looking a little flustered, and replied, what insulated container? This is a sports bag, the latest model. Not long after she left, I received another message on my phone. Follow your wife, there will be surprises. I secretly followed behind her. She didn't go to the gym, but to the underground parking lot. I watched her drive away, then opened my phone to check the car's location. It showed the vehicle drove for 20 minutes and stopped at the entrance of a residential complex. Then for a full hour, it didn't move. The message arrived as promised. I'm being drained by your wife. It was accompanied by a picture of a trash can containing condoms. I suddenly thought of something and opened Sean Howe's moments. He had posted an update 10 minutes ago. Morning love porridge, I will enjoy it. The picture was of him drinking porridge. The location at the bottom was the same residential complex where Song Ching had parked. 2 hours later, Song Ching returned home as if nothing had happened. Seeing that the breakfast hadn't been touched, she asked anxiously, is my cooking bad? I smiled. I don't have an appetite. How can you not eat breakfast? You'll ruin your stomach again. I didn't respond, just told her, I'm going to take some time off this morning and go out for a bit. I rarely take time off, so Song Ching immediately panicked. She hugged me from behind. What's wrong? Have I been neglecting you because I've been busy with work lately? Are you mad at me? Thinking of her having just been tangled up with another man, I forced myself to endure the discomfort and said, "No, don't overthink it." When she went to the bathroom to shower, I picked up her phone. I entered my birthday as the password, and it unlocked quickly. Her chat history with Shun Hao was only about work. I scrolled down, and an account with the note "Sweetheart" caught my attention. His moments were updated frequently. The boss said I looked like her husband, and I immediately pinned her to the bed, asking her who was stronger, me or her husband. Messing around with the boss in the car, it feels so good. Today is my birthday, and the boss gave me a watch. I love it so much. Song Qing didn't appear in any of his photos, but the fluttering ends of her hair and the faintly revealed cuffs all told me. The woman with him was Song Qing, the woman I had loved for 10 years. My mood was complicated, like staring at a coin that had fallen into the toilet. Wanted to pick it up, but disgusted at the thought. I knew Song Qing loved me, but she couldn't help but stray in our marriage. The moment the sound of water in the bathroom stopped, I turned off the phone and put it back where it was. Song Qing hugged me from behind. She sensed my low mood and said a lot of sweet nothings to coax me. She asked me to help her dry her hair, peeking at my face in the mirror from time to time. What should have been a sweet couple's time was now a moment where they both had different thoughts. Actually, I should have noticed her abnormality with Shun Hao earlier. Shun Hao performed mediocrely during the interview. He was just really handsome. My colleagues all said he looked somewhat similar to me. It was Song Qing who specifically asked for him to join the company. In just 1 year, he had jumped from a small employee to the president's secretary. Because of trust, I never asked about it. I never thought it would give her a chance to cheat. It was already noon when we came out of the immigration office after submitting the documents. Song Qing called me, asking me to go to her office for lunch. Before I pushed open her office door, I heard Shin Hao's voice. Qing, I want you to feed me. I told you to call me President Song at the company. If my husband finds out, I won't let you off. Song Qing's tone was stern, but I saw through the crack of the door that she and Shun Hao were very close. Song Qing put the chopsticks to Shun Hao's mouth. Shun Hao finished eating with a grin and even licked the back of Song Qing's hand with his tongue. Song Qing glared at him, but didn't react. I pushed open the door, and both of them looked at me at the same time. Song Qing's face changed slightly. She stood stiffly in place, wanting to say something, but not knowing how. It was Shun Hao who broke the awkwardness, saying to me enthusiastically, "President Lin, look how many dishes President Song ordered for you. I'm so envious." Earlier, she was afraid that the dishes wouldn't suit your taste, and even had me taste them. I feel like I'm an eunuch in ancient times tasting poison. Song Qing glanced at him and told him to leave first. The watch on Lin Che's wrist was eye-catching, exactly the same as the one Song Qing gave me. I sneered and said, "It seems that President Song is treating you well. Your salary is enough to buy a limited edition global tie." Hearing this, Song Qing glared fiercely at Shin Hao. Shin Hao looked wronged, but a hint of provocation flashed in his eyes when he looked at me. "How can I afford it? It's a knockoff." Shin Hao left the office, and Song Qing and I ate lunch in silence. She tried several times to start a conversation, but I just gave her perfunctory answers. In the evening, Song Qing and I were to attend a business dinner together. When it was time to get off work, Song Qing's car was already waiting at the door. I habitually opened the rear car door, but saw Song Qing and Shun Hao sitting side by side in the back. Before I could say anything, Shun Hao said, "Sorry, President Lin, I have some urgent documents for President Song to handle. I'll get out now and let you have the seat." "No need." They were both stunned. I get carsick sitting in the back. The passenger seat is fine. As the car was moving, I would meet Song Qing's gaze in the rearview mirror from time to time. She was afraid that I would really get carsick, so she would ask me how I was feeling every so often. Even if I frowned slightly, she would want the driver to stop, and she would get out to buy me motion sickness medicine. It was only after I assured her that I was fine that she gave up. I didn't miss the gloomy expression on Shun Hao's face beside her. At a red light, the light outside the car became dim. But I still saw in the rearview mirror, Shun Hao quietly put his hand under Song Qing's skirt. Song Qing only struggled for a moment before letting him do it. I felt all the blood rush to my head, and it was hard to suppress the churning emotions. At the banquet, Song Qing walked around with me, greeting everyone. When someone came to toast me, she would always block it for me. "My husband is allergic to alcohol. Please don't get him drunk." I was a technician and was never comfortable in this kind of setting. Song Qing was afraid of leaving me out, and whenever she talked to someone, she would always look at me from time to time, afraid that I would be bored. This caused others to tease us. "It's rare for Lin Che to come out, and you're protecting him like he's something precious. You really have him in your heart." "That's right. Your eyes are almost glued to Lin Che." I never thought that CEO Song, so successful in the business world, would also be a love-obsessed fool. "Could you reveal your secret to keeping love fresh?" Song Qing was taken aback by the question. She looked at me before smiling and replying, "We trust each other." Yes, I never doubted her. Yet she used my trust to betray me. I suddenly felt ridiculous. Everyone said she loved me, but only I knew that our love had long since become unrecognizable. As she spoke, she suddenly stopped. I followed her gaze and saw Shun Hao being forced to drink by a female guest. Someone asked, "So, oh Song, is that your secretary? He looks completely trapped. Aren't you going to do something?" Song Qing glanced away, her tone cold. "He's not anyone to me. Why would I care what happens to him?" Someone sighed. As expected, since he's not family, so Song doesn't even spare him a glance. She laughed, acting as if nothing had happened, and pulled me to the dance floor. After a song, we received applause from the whole room. She excitedly told everyone, "Our 8th wedding anniversary is just around the corner. I hope everyone can wish us happiness." The crowd offered their congratulations. While Song Qing went to the restroom, I received another message. "Want to know what your wife is doing right now?" He sent a picture. It was of a private room next to the restrooms. I walked over. Even before reaching the door, I could hear a familiar voice. Shen Hao said, "Qing Qing, I thought you really didn't care about me anymore." Song Qing scolded him. "Why are you so stupid? If she tells you to go with her, you just go." Shen Hao replied, aggrieved. "I haven't been to these kinds of events before. You were just focused on being with Lin Che. Nobody was looking after me. Get your priorities straight. He's my husband, and you? Our affair absolutely can't be discovered by him. Understand? I know you love him the most. Now that he's not here, I want to kiss you." Then followed the sounds of kissing. My heart felt like it was being squeezed by a large hand, the pain making it hard to breathe. If this was Song Qing's love, then I felt it was filthy. I didn't want to hear any more and stumbled to the restroom. Soon after, Shen Hao also came in. Unlike before, when he had been flustered by the stranger, he now looked radiant. He stood next to me and said directly, "Lin Che, I was the one who sent you those messages." I replied without changing expression, "I know." He laughed. "There's also something else you don't know. Qing Qing is pregnant, and it's my child." My hand washing stopped abruptly. When our living conditions had improved, I had mentioned to Song Qing that I wanted to have a child. Song Qing always said that her career was a priority and that we would consider it in a couple of years. It had been put off until now, but she was pregnant with someone else's child. I forced myself to stay calm, my tone flat. "Well, congratulations to you both." "That's it?" Shen Hao was puzzled. "Not just that. I plan to divorce Song Qing. If you can get Song Qing to sign the divorce agreement, I'll step aside." Shen Hao's eyes lit up, but then he looked at me scrutinizingly. "Really?" My expression remained unchanged. "This is your best chance to become the official one. Do you have any other choice?" He thought for a moment, then said, "Okay, I'll get it done." That night when we returned home, Shen Hao took a taxi by himself. In the back seat of the car, Song Qing leaned on my shoulder, resting, looking at her slightly swollen lips and smelling the unfamiliar perfume on her. I felt nothing but sorrow. I didn't know what method Shen Hao had used. Perhaps Song Qing trusted him completely. In any case, the day after I gave the divorce agreement to Shen Hao, he had already gotten Song Qing to sign it. In the following days, Song Qing was busy with work as usual. Obviously, she had no idea she had signed such a document. That's good, so there won't be any complications before I leave. The night before leaving, the immigration agency's letter arrived at the house. Song Qing opened it, took out the documents, and asked suspiciously, "Husband, why is there a copy of your personal information? Who sent this to you?" My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly took it away. If she flipped just one more page, she would discover my immigration papers. Luckily, Song Qing didn't think too much about it. She smiled and asked me, "Tomorrow is our wedding anniversary. What are you planning to do?" "Let's just stay home. I'll cook a meal for you." "Really? It's been so long since I've had your cooking." On the night of the wedding anniversary, Song Qing came home early. Just as she picked up her chopsticks, her phone rang. She took the phone to the balcony, and when she came back, she said with some difficulty, There's an urgent matter at the company. I need to go over there right away. You eat first. I'll definitely be back tonight." I nodded expressionlessly. There was also a message that Shun Hao had just sent on my phone. "Did Qing Qing tell you she has to work overtime?" "Lin Che, we don't know how many times we've used this excuse to fool you. You're so stupid." Before Song Qing went out, I stopped her. She tilted her head to look at me, a hint of sincerity in her eyes. "Do you still stand by what you used to say?" "What did I say?" "To be together, one heart, one life." I said, word by word. But Song Qing suddenly lowered her gaze, her expression a bit dazed, then replied, "Of course. I'll be back." After she left, I packed my luggage and took a flight to Country A that night. When I landed in Country A, my mother came to pick me up. After divorcing my father, she had come to Country A alone and later started her own family, but she was still as affectionate towards me as always. When I was in China, she was distressed by the hardships Song Qing and I went through and had suggested several times that we hand over the company to a professional manager and immigrate here to be with her. This time I agreed to her request, and she couldn't be happier. But seeing me alone, she couldn't help but ask, "Where's Song Qing? Didn't she come with you?" I said in a calm tone, "We're divorced." My mother was taken aback. "How could such a big thing happen without you telling me?" In the car, I told my mother everything. After hearing it, she said meaningfully, "Song Qing will definitely regret this." I rented another apartment in the same neighborhood as my mother and opened a coffee shop. Away from the rights and wrongs of the past, the wounds in my heart were slowly healing. One day, my mother insisted on introducing me to a friend. I realized she had ulterior motives and wanted to refuse, but she had already brought the person to the coffee shop. Linke. The person wore a well-tailored dress and smiled gently. It turned out to be my college classmate, Feng Shui. She was the class beauty of our department when we were in school, beautiful, generous, and with excellent grades. My mother left at some point, and soon, only the two of us were left in the coffee shop. I cleared my throat and asked her to sit down. It was a very harmonious conversation. I was surprised to find that Feng Shui and I had an extraordinary understanding in many ways. Our tastes matched, we had similar interests, and even the songs we liked to listen to were the same. And so, we got along as friends. In the blink of an eye, it was the end of the year. That day, a customer who was paying the bill looked at me for a long time before asking, "Are you Lin Che, President Lin?" It had been a long time since I had heard anyone call me President Lin, and I was a little stunned. The person then said, "I used to work under you. You probably don't remember me." From him, I learned what had happened after I left. Song Qing had been missing for half a month, and she hadn't been managing the company. There were problems with the back-end operations of several projects, and the partners all terminated their contracts. The company management became increasingly chaotic, and many employees couldn't take it anymore and resigned. On Song Qing's first day back at the company, she had someone beat up Shen Hao, fired him, and blacklisted him in the industry. President Song used to appreciate Shen Hao so much. I really don't understand what mistake he made to make her hate him so deeply. I sneered inwardly. Song Qing was just locking the barn door after the horse had bolted. Even if she pushed all the blame onto Shen Hao, she couldn't change the fact that she couldn't resist temptation and betrayed our marriage. After sending him away, I remembered my New Year's Eve date with Feng Shui and rushed over. Unexpectedly, I got into a car accident on the way. I woke up the next day to see my anxious mother. After a while, someone rushed in, covered in dust. It was Feng Shui. My mother smiled and left. Feng Shui sat on the stool beside the bed, looking at my leg in a cast, hesitant to speak. Remembering our agreement, I asked, "Did you go to celebrate the New Year last night?" Feng Shui was slightly startled, then shook her head. "No, I just finished working overtime an hour ago." I smiled. "That's good. Then I didn't make you wait." Feng Shui asked again, "How did you get into a car accident?" "The other party was violating the rules, speeding. It was near the place we were supposed to meet." Feng Shui suddenly looked up at me. Her eyes moved. She bit her lip. "Actually, I lied to you just now. I've been waiting for you. I thought you deliberately didn't come." I was silent for a few seconds, then smiled. I had told her about Song Qing. I was deeply hurt in my previous relationship and wasn't really ready to enter a new one. But the moment she rushed in, the dead string in my heart suddenly vibrated. In the following days, Feng Shui came to the hospital almost every day to see me, each time bringing soup she had cooked herself. One time, she came late from working overtime, so tired that she fell asleep directly on the hospital bed. Looking at her, I suddenly remembered when Song Qing and I were very poor and I was sick in bed, and Song Qing fell asleep beside me, exhausted. Since I succeeded in starting a business, every time I was sick and went to the hospital, I had a caregiver who took care of everything. But I hadn't felt such genuine affection in a long time. On the day I was discharged, there was a rare heavy snowfall in Country A. My mother saw me gazing out the window and said, "With such heavy snow, little Feng probably won't come." Remembering Feng Shui telling me last night that she would definitely come to see me discharged, I said, "Let's wait a little longer." The television in the ward was showing various accidents caused by the blizzard. I suddenly felt a little anxious and called Feng Shui's phone an office phone, but no one answered. At 6 in the evening, we finally decided to leave. The door of the ward suddenly burst open. Feng Shui appeared before us, looking disheveled. My mother exclaimed, "What happened?" Feng Shui brushed off the mud on her body, her voice soft. There was a bit of an accident on the road. There were traffic jams and road closures. I'm sorry I'm late. I asked her. Is your phone still with you? It fell into the sewer. Were you anxious waiting? I shook my head and reached out to brush the snow off her head. That night, Feng Shui got a high fever from being cold and was hospitalized. I sat by her bedside, remembering what I had heard from my mother. Feng Shui had a crush on me for many years, perhaps even back to our university days. But at that time, I had Song Qing by my side. During these years overseas, she had also gone through several failed relationships. The reason she agreed to my mother's invitation was because the person she was going to meet was me. Love can make people forge ahead fearlessly, but it can also make them timid. In Feng Shui, I saw a concrete representation of this sentence. Lin Ke. A soft call interrupted my thoughts. Feng Shui was looking at me. I poured her a glass of hot water. Our fingertips brushed. After a long silence, I said, Feng Shui, I wouldn't say I'm particularly outstanding, but I'm not bad either. Would you like to try being with me? She looked up in surprise, blinked, and smiled. Lin Che, should I thank this blizzard? After dating Feng Shui, my life became vibrant again. One day, we were going together to open the cafe when we saw a familiar figure in the distance. It was Song Qing. She had lost a lot of weight, her eye sockets were sunken, and there were dark circles under her eyes, as if she hadn't had a good night's sleep in a long time. She looked at me, her eyes filled with longing, her voice trembling softly. Ache, I finally found you, President Song. I responded politely. Then I let Feng Shui go inside first. With only the two of us left in front of the door, Song Qing seemed a little lost. She nervously rubbed her hands together, her tone somewhat bitter. You hate me very much, don't you? I used to hate you, but now, to me, you're just a stranger. I think everything that needs to be said between us has been said. I have to open my shop, so I won't see you out. Don't go. Song Qing grabbed my sleeve. She began to sound a little incoherent. I didn't know about that divorce agreement. I never thought about divorcing you. I'm not pregnant either. Shen Hao said that on purpose to anger you. On our wedding anniversary, I lied, but that day I planned to explain everything to Shen Hao. When I came back, you were already gone. I really didn't. I frowned, not wanting to hear her talk about past events. So I interrupted her. Sorry, I'm not interested in listening to your emotional analysis. Anyway, you've signed the divorce agreement, so please let my lawyer complete the formalities. She looked at Feng Shui's figure in the room, her emotions a little agitated. Is it because of that woman? You want to use her to punish me, right? I sneered. Song Qing, don't be so self-absorbed. You have absolutely no weight with me now. Her lips trembled, tears threatening to fall. I used to feel sorry for her, but now I only feel annoyed. I didn't invite her in. She stood outside the store for a long time, and I don't know when she left. But less than 2 days later, she came again. This time she was smarter, directly coming into my store to order, making it hard for me to say anything. When I handed her the coffee, she looked up at me with a pleading look. Can we talk? The snow outside had stopped, and everything around was quiet. I sat down opposite her, and she stared at me greedily. After a moment, she said softly, Actually, that time the company had a power outage, I already felt that you had probably discovered what was going on between me and Shen Hao. You wear your emotions on your face, and it's easy to guess what you're thinking. She gave a bitter smile, but I still had wishful thinking and continued to be entangled with Shen Hao, enjoying the physical pleasure and also demanding your love. After losing you, the heartbreak I felt, it's all my own fault. I can't blame anyone else. I only found out later that Shen Hao sent you so many harassing messages behind my back. I thought, how painful you must have been then. I found it ridiculous and laughed, saying lightly, I was the fool for giving you all my sincerity. After seeing your wanton true colors, I stopped feeling pain. Her face suddenly turned pale, and she said with difficulty, I'm sorry, I know I'm unforgivable, but the only person I've ever loved is you. I've already severely punished Shen Hao, and he will no longer be able to cause trouble. I smiled sarcastically. To be honest, I never hated him. The only person I ever hated was you. Ultimately, it was you who were fickle in our marriage, unable to withstand loneliness, that gave people like Shen Hao an opportunity. It's laughable that you're now running all the way here to tell me you love me. Don't you find it disgusting? Admit it, Song Qing, you don't love me that much. You're just unable to bear loneliness. That's why you coveted Shen Hao's young body, to satisfy your psychological needs. She stared at me blankly, speechless. In the end, she could only repeat with reddened eyes, But I really love you. I can't live without you. We've been together for so many years. Aren't you regretful? Could you give me another chance? I will love you wholeheartedly. I sighed and coldly interrupted. But I don't love you anymore. How can I give you a chance? I was about to get up when Song Qing grabbed my hand. How do you want me to atone? How about I stay here with you? I promise I won't disturb you. I gritted my teeth and violently shook off her hand. Coffee splattered all over her. Song Qing, don't let me think of you with only disgust in the future. After that day, Song Qing appeared around the cafe from time to time. It was so annoying that I even considered moving overnight. Fortunately, she soon had to rush back, because Shenhao created an account online, extensively revealing all sorts of past events between her and Song Qing, posting a large amount of chat logs and photos. He was driven to the brink by Song Qing and decided to go for broke, destroying himself along with her. The loving wife persona that Song Qing had built up instantly collapsed, and she was met with overwhelming condemnation. Even though the company urgently issued public relations statements, in the face of the abundance of evidence, everything was futile. The company's image plummeted, and business partners all ran away. Song Qing held press conferences nonstop, apologizing, clarifying, with a humble attitude. Gone was the glory of the past, when everyone flattered her. Later, she even ended up in debt and had to declare bankruptcy. But all of that had nothing to do with me. I hadn't heard news of Song Qing for a long time. The next time I heard about her, it was in a short video. Song Qing hated Shun, how to the core for his actions, and found his place of residence. They started fighting after a disagreement, and furniture was smashed to pieces all over the place. Later, due to carelessness, she fell from an open window. When the ambulance arrived, Shenhao was already dead, and Song Qing was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Ultimately, she saved her life, but will have to spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. Her parents reached out to me, saying that she was a mess and begged me to go see her. I was silent for a moment and said, I don't think there's any need for that. Her parents were a bit angry on the other end. You two have been husband and wife for 8 years. How can you be so heartless? Qingqing already knows she was wrong. Is there any point in you being so relentless? I laughed instead of getting angry. Uncle, Annie, an apology cannot erase the harm she has done to me. If you can't remember what she did, I don't mind reminding you. She said I was the one she loved the most, yet she had several affairs with her young male secretary in the office. Even when time was tight in the morning, she would drive to his place to be with him. She would also find a corner to get intimate with him during business dinners, and— Stop talking, they interrupted rudely from the other end. My voice was calm. You are not me. You have no right to tell me to forgive. In early spring, I proposed to Feng Shui. Today another video was posted. I need you. On Christmas Eve, I received an anonymous package. Inside were a few princess dresses and dolls, all things that little girls would like. There was also a card that read, wishing you and your family happiness. Feng Shui glanced at it and couldn't help but complain. How boring. I raised an eyebrow. Well, they did pay for it. It's not good to throw them away. I think I'll find an opportunity to donate them. She smiled, hugging our daughter. I didn't tell her that besides these things, there was also a photo album. It was full of my old photos. Before I entered the house, I threw it into the trash. I'm not the kind of person who needs to live on memories. I never will be.